Amid escalating tensions in the Middle East, Channel 14 reported, citing an Israeli official that Jerusalem is preparing for the possibility of an Iranian attack. The official said that Iran may miscalculate and launch an attack involving hundreds of missiles. The report came shortly after a new U.S. DAD aerial defense battery was supplied to Israel amid President Donald Trump's threats of military action against Iran unless it agrees to a nuclear deal. An extremely heavy American military cargo plane AC-5M Super Galaxy landed at Israel's Nevertime Air Base in the south of the country on April 5th. The additional battery that landed here is part of our basket of operations with Americans. The defense cooperation between Israel and the Americans is going to another level. It is the best ever. Trump's deadline for the Iranians is about a month away. Everything is on the table in 2020 for Iran. Hit Israel with missile salvos in April and October. The attacks were mostly repelled thanks to the U.S. military and their allies. Israel, in turn, launched a direct attack on Iran on October 26th, knocking out much of its air defenses. Iran has since vowed to launch a third attack against Israel, dubbed Operation True Promise 3. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz on April 6th released a document, which he says is a transcript of intercepted communications revealing Iran's alleged support for Hamas. The document claims to show a direct connection between Iran and Hamas leaders Yahya Sinwar and Mohammed Deif, with the two demanding $500 million from Iran's Quds Force commander for their operations aimed at Israel's destruction. The document shows that Hamas demanded $20 million per month from Iran over 2 years to achieve these great goals through which we will change the face of the world. We are confident that by the end of these 2 years, or during them, God willing, we will uproot this monstrous entity and we will end this dark period in the history of our nation. After even talking to your own BB, that I'm shocked. I am here today in a special place. The people of Israel know about the widespread danger. I am presenting here for the first time a document that was found in the tunnels of senior Hamas officials in Gaza, which proves a direct relationship between Iran and Yahya Sinwar and Mohammed Deif as part of Iran's support for the Hamas plan to destroy Israel. Hamas leaders asked the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, to transfer $500 million for destroying the state of Israel. Should he possibly be the Israeli head of the IRGC? Palestinian Department replies that despite Iran's economic crisis and the suffering of its people, Tehran will continue financing Hamas because fighting Israel and the U.S. is the regime's top priority. Iran is the head of the snake, and despite all its denials, even these days, it finances and promotes terrorism in all sectors from Gaza through Lebanon, Syria, Judea, and Samaria, and now also against the Houthis in Yemen under the banner of the desire to destroy Israel. Israel will do everything to prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons and will continue to strike its proxies in the region until the Iranian axis of evil is crushed and toppled. Shalom, Esteva. The statement was recorded during a visit to the Military Intelligence Directorate's so-called Intelligence Collection and Technical Spoils Unit known by its Hebrew acronym AM-SHAP. Hamas fired 10 rockets at southern Israel on the night of April 6th in the largest such barrage in months, according to the Qassam brigades. The attack was carried out in retaliation for Zionist massacres against civilians. The Israel Defense Forces said 5 of the 10 rockets were intercepted by air defenses, but at least one of the other 5 hit Ashkelon, causing damage. A 30-year-old man was lightly injured by shrapnel and taken to the city's Barzillai hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, local health authorities in Gaza said Israeli military strikes killed at least 39 people across the Gaza Strip on April 6th. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered a strong response after rockets were fired from the Gaza Strip. The Prime Minister instructed to deliver a strong response and approved the continuation of the intensified IDF operations in Gaza against Hamas. He also spoke to Defense Minister Israel Katz from his airplane as he traveled to Washington minutes after the statement. The Israeli military issued an order for residents of several areas in central Gaza's Deir el-Balah to evacuate ahead of planned strikes, indicating that the rocket fire originated from there. To all residents of the Gaza Strip located in the Deir el-Balah area, this is a final and urgent warning before the attack. Later, the Israeli military said it struck the rocket launcher from which projectiles were launched earlier from the Gaza Strip. Palestinian officials said on April 6 that a Palestinian teenager with U.S. citizenship was killed by Israeli forces in the West Bank town of Termos Aya, with the Israeli military saying it shot a terrorist who endangered civilians by hurling rocks during a counterterrorism activity in the area of Termos Aya. IDF soldiers identified 3 terrorists who hurled rocks toward the highway, thus endangering civilians driving. The soldiers opened fire toward the terrorists who were endangering civilians, eliminating 1 terrorist and hitting 2 additional terrorists. The incident is the latest in a surge of violence and near-daily confrontations in the volatile West Bank, where settler violence and clashes between Israeli forces and armed Palestinians have kept it on edge. The mayor of Termos, Aya Adib Lotfi, told Reuters earlier in the day that Omar Mohammed Rabia, 14, was shot along with 2 other teenagers by an Israeli settler at the entrance to Turn Masaya, and that the Israeli army pronounced him dead after detaining him. However, the Palestinian Foreign Ministry condemned the incident as an extrajudicial killing by Israeli forces during a raid in the town, saying it was the result of Israel's continued impunity. Palestinians gathered around bodies and body bags at Nasser Hospital to mourn the victims of an Israeli strike that hit an apartment in the Al Amal neighborhood in Gaza's Khan Yunis. Relatives of those killed in the attack condemned the strike and expressed anger over Israeli actions, particularly in light of Netanyahu's upcoming visit to Washington, fearing it could lead to further violence. But what can I expect? More massacres and more killings as long as Arabs and Muslims are asleep. We will continue to see more massacres and killings. There's no hope in them, and no hope they will lift a hand to help these oppressed people. It's clear that Netanyahu will further get a green light to finish Gaza, just like before, to wipe out what remains in Gaza. As long as Netanyahu and Trump are in power, there will be no breakthrough. On the contrary, there will be more blood and more killing. These people came to power through our blood that we are the latter. They climbed to reach it and are still no.